He made millions as an inventor and pitchman. You may have even seen him on Shark Tank or QVC.
Cactus Jack Behringer from Ames is someone you won't soon forget. ABC5's Ron Marasco has his story.
Howdy, I'm Cactus Jack. Welcome to Iowa.
Some call him crazy.
He invented a cleaner that needed no apology.
Others call him a genius.
The arms of steel are about to squeal.
One thing you need to call him is a millionaire.
If people remember this one phrase that I'm about to give them, it'll get them rich. You become what you think about most of the time. But more important than that, thought determines what you want, but it's action determines what you get.
Advice he learned from a book he says changed his life.
A couple years out of high school and being flat broke, I got a hold of a copy of a book called Think and Grow Rich.
And grow rich he did. He holds more than a dozen patents for such things as the monster arm wrestling machine, the one-shot catch-a-lot fishing lure, and the item that made him a QVC favorite for more than 5 years.
Cleaner is 99% water with just some chemical in it. I said, why don't I develop a tablet like an Alka-Seltzer where you can just drop it, because people already got their own water. And all you do is pour some water into a spray bottle, and you just drop one of those things in there.
He cleaned up with his bullet-shaped tablet on QVC to the tune of $10 million.
I won Inventor of the Year for QVC with these cleaning products.
But Cactus Jack didn't stop there.
One of Cactus Jack's inventions is this body jack push-up machine. It first appeared on Shark Tank back in 2009, and he had to really push it before the sharks would bite.
Every guy and his dog has something they want to sell you in fitness. I see I have all the risk, and you've got all the upside. I don't like those kind of deals. I'm out.
But Cactus Jack eventually lured two of the sharks into his net, and his push-up machine muscled its way to success.
Being on Shark Tank was just an incredible experience because, first of all, it's just darn it impossible to get on that show.
Cactus Jack's now shopping his own version of the show.
Oh, my God.
So we know they're working, right?
That's soaked in dough here.
With a twist.
It's going to be people bringing me redneck inventions.
While you're sitting there thinking about cooking your hot dogs and stuff.
I had a guy bring me a thing called the crapper cooker.
That's right, a grill over the bowl and beer in the tank.
I don't think that's going to go a long ways, but I want one. Come on in here, Ron.
Cactus Jack's been featured in several magazines over the years, including this two-page spread in People.
As you can see in that picture, why my game is to draw a little bit of attention.
With all his success, he also caught the attention of the editors of Think and Grow Rich. When they updated the book, they called him for an endorsement.
To me, that was such an emotional thing to think that the book that I studied all my life, then one day I got to be on it. So
that is incredible.
That's a very special thing for me.
Cactus Jack may be 70 years old, his hair a tad grayer, his leather coat a bit tighter, but he's showing no signs of slowing down.
I don't think that Cactus Jack will ever retire. You know, he's always got some idea that he wants to do, you know, and if something's not going on, then he's bored, you know, so got to keep it moving.
And then those things would actually shoot past.
And Cactus Jack seems to have no problem with that. In Ames, Ron Marasco, 10 at 10 on ABC5.
Thanks, Ron.
So many of us have driven down Hickman Road, shopped at Merle Hay Mall, or marveled at the old homes in Sherman Hill.
But who are the people behind these names, and what do they contribute to Iowa? ABC5's Ron Marasco has a story.
Well, if you've ever driven down Hickman Road during rush hour, you may do a lot of this or this. But don't blame the Hickmans. They didn't have anything to do with it.
Traffic jams didn't exist when G.W. Hickman brought his family to Iowa from Indiana in 1848. He settled near what is now 35th Street and Hickman Road in 1850. He built this house in 1882.
Story goes that there was a kiln on the property and that the bricks were fired on this property. I'm not sure anybody has ever found that yet, but he was said to be in 1873, he became a brickmaker.
He was also said to be a farmer and fruit grower.
They say that he got along quite well with the Indians that were still in the neighborhood because he would give them fruit.
The house still maintains a lot of its 1800s charm. The current owner found this picture behind an old mirror in the closet. We don't know who she is, possibly his wife, Mary Ann. When Hickman died in 1910, his family donated his land to the city of Des Moines for $1. Merle Hay is also a prominent Des Moines street. They even named a mall after him. As a young man, Hay used to love riding his horse and buggy, roller skating, and attending movies.
Over there, over there.
But he was better known for his wartime bravery.
Merle Hay was probably the first American soldier killed in World War I.
The Army sent the 20-year-old to France in the spring of 1917. One night, while serving sentry duty, 500 German soldiers launched a surprise attack. Reportedly, Hay battled 2 Germans with his bayonet.
When everyone came back to the campsite, there were 3 men dead. Merle was a guard, so he would have been on the outside edge of the camp. So the presumption is that he was the first to die, but they can't document that because there were 3 men.
The Army buried Hay in France, but 4 years later they exhumed his body and returned it to his home in Glidden, Iowa, where thousands attended his funeral. This 16-ton boulder, dedicated in 1923, honors Hay. Appropriately, it sits at the cemetery that bears his name.
Another World War I veteran Des Moines honored was Mick McHenry. He was the first Iowan officer killed in the war. McHenry Park is named after him.
Captain Harrison Cummins McHenry was a handsome man. He attended Drake University Law School before heading off to war.
He served in the same division as General Douglas MacArthur, and we learned through our research that he decided to stay with his men versus going back to his bunker where he would have been safe.
He died in 1918 at the age of 28. A year later, the city renamed Frazee Park to McHenry Park. It boasts one of the best views in the metro.
This is the town of Saylorville, and it wasn't named after this or this, but instead after these folks.
John B. Saylor moved his family from Indiana to Fort Des Moines in 1845. He was thought to be the area's first white settler.
He had to join with the garrison to provide food for the Indians, which was managed by the War Department for the United States.
He later moved his family to this property on 6th Drive. Saylor farmed and raised cattle here. Rhonda Hostler says in 1850 he plotted Saylor Township, currently the largest township in Iowa. Now, when we hear Sherman Hill, we generally think of all these beautiful old historic homes. Hoyt Sherman doesn't come to mind. He's the man this neighborhood was named after. Hoyt Sherman came to Des Moines from Ohio at age 20 in 1848. In 1849, President Zachary Taylor named Sherman Des Moines' postmaster. He also started the city's first waterworks, among other projects. Later, Sherman served as a major in the Civil War.
He was invited by President Lincoln to be the Army paymaster. I would assume that's possibly because Lincoln knew his famous brother, William Tecumseh.
That's right, the famous Civil War general. In 1867, Sherman helped start the Equitable Life Insurance Company of Iowa. 10 years later, he moved into his house on Woodland and 15th Street. Needless to say, it's been spruced up a bit. He purchased the 5-acre plot of land in 1850 for $105. According to historian Pat Miners, Sherman died in 1904 in financial distress.
It seems like this was prevalent throughout his entire family. They tended to have money problems. Every one of them did. So when he died, the home was given to the County Parks Department.
The city named the neighborhood Sherman Hill in 1907. In Des Moines, Ron Marasco, ABC5 News.
I learned a lot of new things in that story.
I know. I want to just keep learning more because I'm sure there's so much out there. Ron did a great job with that, and Don Schmidt, too, for editing it. All right.
He's not exactly a rags to riches story, but he's definitely hit the jackpot with other people's junk.
Don Short sold salvage items at a garage sale that was supposed to last 2 weeks. 8 years later, his garage sale has not ended. In fact, it's bigger than ever.
ABC5's Ron Marasco has the story.
Good afternoon, West End.
I'm Don Short, owner of West End Architectural Salvage.
You've seen him on HGTV.
They're going to make a wall of doors.
Mixing nostalgia with imagination.
We think it was a huge compliment that HGTV thought that what we do is worthy of a television show.
Don Short owns West End Architectural Salvage in downtown Des Moines.
I wasn't planning on a business.
But now he's got one.
I think anytime somebody starts a business with a really good idea, you have to be pretty focused on where you think you're going to go with it.
In less than 8 years, Don has seen West End Architectural Salvage go from the bottom to the top of the retail salvage industry.
But we've developed a niche where it's allowed us to start modestly and grow to one of the best attractions in the Iowa Midwest right now.
Yeah.
We're a destination place.
A destination place where shoppers journey through a 50,000 square foot menagerie, envisioning these resurrected treasures in their living rooms.
We got a piece back here I'd like to show you, and what it is a stained glass window out of one of two homes that were just recently torn down on the corner of 40th and Grand. And we were able to work with the owners of the properties and get in and salvage a lot of the really good pieces out of the homes. And so to have a little piece out of a really cool Victorian home in Des Moines, somebody's gonna love that for a coffee table.
And this will sure light up your neighbors' faces during that summer backyard barbecue.
And these are searchlights off the Suez Canal.
That's right, all the way from Egypt.
So we put a metal base on it, and now it's a martini bar. And if you wanna have a searchlight from the Suez Canal as your martini top, we have one.
Don's parlayed his creativity and know-how into assets worth over $1 million with 4 simple beliefs.
Location, concept, work hard, and make your customer happy.
Throw in some lion-sized passion, and that's a blueprint for success.
He can sell anything to anyone. He's made some pieces that are odd, and we've told him no one will buy that. And he'll spend 2 or 3 days to sell that piece. And we always think there's no way, but he does it.
If this wasn't what I was doing as a job, this is what I'd be doing as a hobby. So I'm actually not working every day. I'm just going to the building that I have my stuff in. And that's super cool.
What's also super cool is holding a garage sale.
And then do these as a pair.
That never ends.
Yeah, you have them paired up but different.
In Des Moines, Ron Marasco, 10 at 10 on ABC5.